Most of your cholesterol is made at home, by your liver, not your plate. When daily sugar spikes and fried shortcuts stack up, risk rises while energy slips. Stay with me for a calm, kitchen-ready path to steer that system safely. Let me start with a promise. If you stay with me all the way to the end of this journey, I'll share a small kitchen bonus. One tweak you can add to an ordinary meal that quietly helps your body handle cholesterol more efficiently. It's not a gimmick, not a miracle, just a simple, safe timing strategy that works best when you apply the steps I'm about to teach. I'm saying this up front because details matter here. Amounts, preparation, and consistency can make the difference between smooth progress and uncomfortable setbacks. Here's the first surprising idea. Most of the cholesterol inside your body wasn't swallowed at breakfast. It was made by your own liver. Think of the liver as a calm project manager that builds, packages, ships, and recycles cholesterol every single day. Yes, a bagel with cream cheese or bacon and eggs can influence your numbers, but the biggest switchboard sits under your ribs. What you eat and when you eat are like messages the liver reads in real time. A sweet coffee with flavored creamer, a quick drive-through lunch, a late-night slice of pepperoni pizza, these aren't just treats. To your liver, they're instructions. Cholesterol isn't bad by design. Your cells need it to make hormones, vitamin D, and to keep membranes sturdy and flexible. What creates trouble is the traffic pattern. How much is produced, how it's packaged, and how quickly the body reuses or removes it. The liver decides whether to ship more out, pull some back, or recycle it into bile, the digestive detergent that helps you handle fats. This means the story is not simply eat less cholesterol, get lower cholesterol. It's closer to teach your liver better rhythms so the whole system flows. Let me paint a familiar North American day. Morning rush, a large latte with vanilla syrup and a croissant to go. Lunch on the run, turkey sandwich, chips, and a soda refill because it's free. Afternoon slump, a pumpkin spice pick-me-up with extra whip. Dinner, big bowl of mac and cheese, maybe some breaded chicken from the freezer aisle because it's quick and the kids are hungry. Each of those choices sends signals, sugar bursts, refined flours, fats of mixed quality, that nudge the liver toward more output and less efficient recycling. Do that for months, and the pattern becomes the problem. Here's the twist. You can speak back to the liver in a language it understands. Timing, fiber, hydration, and gentler fats. When you add specific foods that trap some of the bile your liver makes, the body has to pull more cholesterol out of the bloodstream to rebuild what was lost. When you choose fats that are predominantly unsaturated, think olive oil, walnuts, salmon, the liver tends to ship less risky cargo and more stable particles. And when you scale down the sugar surge drinks, your liver doesn't get pushed into the frantic store now, sort later mode that crowds the system. A word on safety and expectations. This is education, not a substitute for medical care. If you have a condition, take medications or use supplements, you'll want to coordinate changes with a qualified professional. Even healthy foods can backfire if the details are off. Too little water with a high-fiber meal can leave you bloated. Going from zero to hero with bran or psyllium can be rough on the gut. Frying an otherwise heart-friendly ingredient in a deep fryer changes its impact dramatically. That's why I'll keep reminding you, stay with me through the sequence so you can apply it correctly and comfortably. Another revelation you may not expect: cholesterol recycling is a loop, not a one-way street. Your liver secretes bile acids into your small intestine to help digest fats. After the job is done, most of those bile acids are taken back up into the bloodstream and returned to the liver for reuse. This return trip saves resources, but it also means the body keeps recirculating a pool of cholesterol-based compounds unless you intervene. Food can be that intervention. Certain fibers and plant compounds act like gentle sponges. They bind some of the bile so it leaves your body, which nudges the liver to use up cholesterol to make more. That process doesn't demand perfection. It thrives on consistency and smart pairings. Let me make this tangible. Picture a weekday breakfast built on oats, chia, or a small bowl of berries and plain yogurt. Add a drizzle of olive oil to an egg and spinach scramble instead of reaching for processed sausage. Swap a sugary creamer for a splash of milk and a sprinkle of cinnamon. These are small acts, but they change the signals. Over time, your liver learns a calmer schedule. Produce what's needed, recycle what you can, and keep the traffic moving without pileups. Now for the mini climax that sets up everything that follows. Inside your pantry sits an ordinary ingredient that can physically catch some of the bile your liver releases. When that happens, the body quietly compensates by drawing cholesterol out of circulation to rebuild the bile bank. It's simple, it's culinary, and when used properly, it's safe for most people. The real magic isn't a product. It's the pairing of that ingredient with the right timing, hydration, and gentle fats so your liver gets the message loud and clear. Stay with me. Apply these ideas thoughtfully, and you'll have a framework that's practical in a North American routine. Coffee runs, carpool chaos, and all. And remember, the small bonus I promised is coming at the end. A kitchen-level timing trick that makes your meals work smarter for you. The next tip is one of the most important. And ignoring it won't just limit your results. It could bring unintended side effects if you miss on quantities or preparation. So keep an open mind as we build on this foundation. A moment ago, we uncovered a quiet truth. Your liver runs the cholesterol logistics center, building, packaging, shipping, and then reclaiming what it can through bile. Let's lift the hood on that shipping network so you can start making choices that nudge it in your favor, gently and reliably. No drama. No miracle claims, just a practical map you can follow in a typical North American day. Imagine a fleet of delivery trucks circulating through your bloodstream. Some carry fresh cholesterol away from the liver to the tissues that requested it. Others pick up leftovers to bring back for inspection and reuse. When the fleet is organized, deliveries arrive on time, returns are smooth, and there are few traffic jams. When the fleet is disorganized, too many deliveries, not enough returns, or poorly packed cargo, traffic snarls, and that's where risk begins to creep up. The liver, again, is the dispatcher. Here's where it gets really useful for daily life. The liver also makes bile, a detergent-like fluid that helps emulsify the fats in your lunch. Think burger, fries, or that Friday night slice. After bile helps with digestion, most of it is reabsorbed in the lower small intestine and shipped back to the liver to be recycled. This loop is elegant and efficient, but there's a catch. If nearly all the bile is reclaimed, your body doesn't have to draw on its cholesterol reserves to make new bile. The loop keeps turning with the same old pool of cholesterol-based compounds. Food gives you a lever. Certain soluble fibers, found in oats, beans, lentils, apples, citrus, and ground flax or chia, form a gentle gel in the gut that can bind some of the bile acids. When that gel escorts bile out of the body, the liver must construct new bile from cholesterol, which encourages a modest pull of cholesterol out of circulation. This isn't a crash fix, it's a daily nudge that adds up. And it's not just about ingredients, it's about texture, timing, and hydration, because those influence how well the gel actually forms. Let's make this practical. Start your morning with steel-cut or rolled oats, cooked simply, not the dessert-like packets that spike sugars. Stir in freshly ground flaxseed. The aroma should be nutty, not stale. And a handful of blueberries. Pair it with plain yogurt or a hard-boiled egg for staying power. At lunch, swap a bag of chips for a small side of bean salad. Black beans, corn, cherry tomatoes, cilantro, lime. Keep your drink unsweetened. Water, sparkling water with lemon, or black coffee with just milk. For dinner, consider baking salmon or chicken thighs brushed with olive oil and herbs, served with roasted vegetables and a spoon of warm lentils. None of this is exotic. It's grocery store America. Now, 2 subtle upgrades many people miss. First, hydration. Soluble fiber needs water to bloom into that helpful gel. A bowl of oats with no fluids around it is like handing a sponge a single raindrop. Drinking water with fiber-rich meals is a small habit that pays dividends. Second, pacing. Go gradual. Jumping from almost no fiber to a double serving overnight is a recipe for gas, cramps, and discouragement. Increase by small amounts every few days and let the gut adjust. If you take medications, especially those that must be absorbed precisely, talk with a clinician about timing so the fiber doesn't interfere with uptake. There's also the matter of how we prepare our fats. Your liver reads quality cues. Olive oil, nuts like walnuts or pecans, and fish provide patterns that tend to support steadier lipoprotein packaging. Deep-fried options, think diner-style onion rings or breaded chicken, add heat-damaged oils that send messier signals. If eating out, try simple swaps. Choose grilled over fried, add a side of beans or a small salad dressed with olive oil and lemon, and keep sugar-sweetened drinks as an occasional dessert rather than a mealtime staple. That alone lowers the push-pull chaos your dispatcher has to manage. Here's a counterintuitive observation that often surprises people. Trimming added sugars can improve your cholesterol story even if you didn't touch the butter on your toast. Sugary coffee drinks, bottomless sodas, and heavy desserts encourage the liver to convert excess sugar into fat and then ship more lipids out. When you reduce those surges, you ease the pressure on the dispatch desk. Your trucks don't have to hustle risky cargo as often, and returns run closer to schedule. Simple, consistent choices retrain the system. Let me underline safety again, because getting the details right matters. If you introduce fiber supplements or highly concentrated plant sterols, do it with professional guidance. More isn't always better, and timing relative to medications can be important. Most people can accomplish a great deal with food-first strategies: oats, beans, fruit, vegetables, nuts, and olive oil. The point is not to be perfect, it's to be predictable in the best way, so your liver can settle into a healthier routine. We're ready for a mini climax you can feel within days. When fiber-rich meals and better fat choices become routine, many people notice steadier energy and fewer afternoon crashes. That isn't magic, it's traffic finally moving with fewer jams. And tucked in your pantry is a familiar ingredient that, used at the right moment, can amplify this effect by capturing more bile before it's recycled. It's simple, it's culinary, and when used with proper hydration and portion awareness, it's remarkably gentle. Keep applying these steps, watch how your body responds, and remember to coordinate with a healthcare professional if you have conditions or take medication. The next tip is one of the most important, and ignoring it won't just limit your results. It could bring unintended side effects if you miss on quantities or preparation, so take it seriously in an informed, calm way. We've already explored how your liver manages cholesterol traffic and how food can nudge that system toward calmer, safer patterns. Now let's open the pantry and meet the quiet, everyday ingredients that help your body recycle cholesterol more wisely. I'll show you how to use them in a North American routine: busy mornings, coffee runs, and weeknight dinners, without turning your kitchen into a lab. And yes, we'll keep the tone measured and practical so you can apply each step with confidence. Start with the ingredient family that does the most work with the least drama: soluble fibers. These are natural compounds in oats, barley, beans, and lentils, apples and citrus, ground flaxseed, chia seeds, and many vegetables. When hydrated, they form a gentle gel that can bind some of the bile your liver releases for digestion. Think of it as a friendly sponge. It doesn't scrub everything away, but it picks up enough to matter. When a portion of bile exits the body, the liver makes fresh bile using cholesterol, encouraging a subtle, steady pull from the bloodstream. No hype, just physiology working in your favor when you're consistent. Here's a simple way to build this into breakfast without sugar spikes. Cook rolled or steel-cut oats with water and a pinch of salt until creamy. Then stir in a tablespoon of freshly ground flaxseed or a teaspoon of chia. Add a handful of berries or diced apple and cinnamon instead of syrup. If you prefer savory, fold in chopped spinach and a soft-boiled egg with a drizzle of olive oil. This is a calm start for your dispatcher organ: quality fiber, reasonable protein, and gentle fats. If you choose yogurt, pick plain and add your own fruit. Many flavored tubs in U.S. grocery aisles lean heavy on added sugars that ask your liver to play catch-up later. Lunch and dinner can pull the same lever. Swap fries for a side of beans or lentil salad, black beans with corn, tomato, and cilantro, or green lentils tossed with olive oil, lemon, parsley, and a little feta. If tacos are on the menu, add a spoon of pinto beans and cabbage slaw, go easy on the sour cream, and use salsa for brightness. For pasta night, stir white beans and spinach into a tomato garlic sauce, then finish with olive oil instead of a heavy cream base. These swaps are classic supermarket moves, not specialty store quests. Texture and timing matter more than most people realize. Soluble fiber needs water to bloom into that gel. A bowl of oats followed by sips of coffee isn't the same as oats with a glass of water on the side. The second option helps the fiber do its quiet job. Portion also matters. If your current intake is low, start small, say 1 tablespoon of ground flaxseed per day, and increase by a teaspoon every few days. Jumping too fast is a common cause of gas and cramping, and can make you give up on a strategy that actually works when introduced gradually. Let's talk about 2 pantry allies that often sit ignored behind the cereal boxes. The first is oat bran, less famous than oats, but particularly rich in soluble fiber. A spoon or 2 stirred into meatloaf, turkey burgers, pancakes, or even a smoothie adds bulk without drawing attention, and it changes how bile interacts with your meal. The second is ground flaxseed. Buy it whole if you can, and grind just what you need in a coffee grinder. Freshly ground has a nutty aroma and better texture. Sprinkle it over yogurt, fold it into overnight oats, or stir it into soup just before serving. Keep both away from heat and light to preserve their delicate oils. Gentle fats are the other half of this conversation. Olive oil, walnuts, pecans, almonds, and fish like salmon or trout tend to support steadier lipoprotein patterns. They don't cancel out everything you eat, but they guide the liver toward more stable packaging. Mise en place matters here too. If you usually reach for a bottle of ranch or a sugary vinaigrette, try dressing salads with olive oil, lemon, and a pinch of salt. If you're grilling, brush chicken thighs with olive oil, smoked paprika, and garlic instead of relying on deep-fried coatings. Keep nuts to a small handful. They're nutrient-dense, and more is not automatically better. A few safety notes, so you can personalize this comfortably. If you live with celiac disease or gluten sensitivity, choose certified gluten-free oats and consider other soluble fibers like chia, flax, beans, and fruit. If you take medications, especially those that require reliable absorption, speak with a clinician about fiber timing. Spacing them can help avoid interactions. If you have a history of digestive conditions, ramp up more slowly and listen to your gut. None of these foods replaces medical care. They're tools that complement it. Now for a practical rhythm you can remember. Build what I call a fiber ladder. Week 1, 1 fiber-rich upgrade per day. Oats at breakfast or beans at lunch. Week 2, add a second upgrade. Ground flaxseed or chia. Week 3, choose a hydration companion. 1 full glass of water with each fiber-heavy meal. Week 4, add a gentle fat swap. Olive oil dressing, a handful of walnuts, or salmon once or twice a week. This ladder fits into a U.S. work week and survives tailgates, potlucks, and Tuesday night chaos. There's a quiet reveal hiding in plain sight. The most effective pantry helper isn't rare or expensive. It's the consistent pairing of soluble fiber with water and gentle fats, especially early in the day. That combination signals your liver to ship smarter and recycle more efficiently. When you feel steadier energy mid-afternoon, or notice you're satisfied with a smaller portion at dinner, that's your metabolism responding to better instructions, not a trick of willpower. I'll end with a reminder that keeps this empowering and safe. Pay attention to portions, chew thoroughly, and keep an eye on labels for added sugars and refined starches dressed up as healthy. Improve 1 meal at a time, and keep notes if that helps you see patterns. If something feels off, excessive bloating, discomfort, or medication concerns, pause and get advice from a qualified professional before adjusting further. The next tip is one of the most important, and ignoring it won't just limit your results. It could bring unintended side effects if you miss on quantities or preparation, so approach it thoughtfully and with calm attention to detail. You've begun to see how soluble fibers and gentler fats teach your liver to package and recycle cholesterol with less drama. Now let's shine a light on an influence that often hides in your cup and in the snack drawer. What if the strongest push on your cholesterol story doesn't come from butter on toast, but from sweetened drinks, refined starches, and late-night grazing? This isn't a scare, It's a practical look at how sugar and timing can nudge the liver toward more frantic shipping, and what to do about it. When the body receives frequent surges of added sugars, sodas, sweet coffee drinks, energy beverages, and desserts, it responds by raising insulin to move glucose into cells. That's normal in small, occasional amounts. The challenge comes when these surges happen daily and often. The liver senses the traffic spike and starts converting the extra sugar into fat to store for later. Some of that fat is packaged into particles for delivery. Some lingers in the liver itself, which can upset how cholesterol is managed. The result, over time, is a noisier shipping yard, more outgoing cargo, more mix-ups, and less efficient returns. This shows up in everyday routines. A large vanilla latte on the commute, a soda refill at lunch, and a bakery cookie mid-afternoon can add up to a sugar wave, even if dinner looks reasonable. Refined starches join the chorus. White bagels, fluffy diner pancakes, crackers, and certain breakfast cereals digest quickly and behave like sugar from the liver's perspective. None of these foods are forbidden, but when they dominate the rhythm, your dispatcher organ spends the day in a mild sprint. Let's pivot to solutions you can put into practice without feeling deprived. Start with beverages, because they're a stealthy source of added sugars. Learn the flavor of your coffee again by dialing back syrups gradually, week by week. Half pumps, then none. Add milk, cinnamon, or a splash of vanilla extract for aroma without the sugar bomb. Trade one soda a day for sparkling water with lemon or lime, or unsweetened iced tea with mint. Keep a reusable bottle within reach. Hydration steadies appetite and helps fiber do its job. Build a smart snack pattern to avoid the afternoon cliff. Pair fiber with protein so the message to the liver is calm and steady. Apple slices with peanut butter, Greek yogurt with berries and ground flaxseed, baby carrots with hummus, a small handful of nuts with a few grapes. In the U.S., workplace culture, vending machines, and break room pastries are common. Bring your own backup so you have a default that supports your goals even when meetings run long. Meal timing matters more than we give it credit for. Late-night heavy meals encourage the liver to keep processing while your body is trying to shift toward rest. If pizza night is a family tradition, lean on balance. Start with a big salad dressed with olive oil and vinegar. Add a protein-rich side like grilled chicken or beans, and limit late-night snacking afterward. A 10 to 20-minute walk after dinner is a simple North American-friendly habit that helps muscles soak up circulating fuel so the liver doesn't have to store as much. Use a dessert strategy instead of an all-or-nothing approach. Pick a consistent window, perhaps Friday or Saturday evening, and enjoy a portion you can savor without distraction. The other days, treat fruit like a sweet course, orange segments with a few almonds, fresh pineapple with cottage cheese, or strawberries with a drizzle of plain yogurt. Many people find that satisfying the desire for sweet with texture and aroma, crunchy, creamy, cinnamon, citrus zest, cuts the craving loop without relying on a sugar spike. Now for a subtle, empowering lever, the preload. When you eat fiber-rich foods or a small protein and fiber bite before a meal that's richer in starch or fat, you change the early signals. Try a small bowl of vegetable soup, a few spoonfuls of beans, or a glass of water with a teaspoon of chia stirred in and allowed to thicken for a minute. These choices slow the meal's absorption curve and give your liver a more manageable pace. If you experiment with concentrated fibers or supplements, consult a clinician for fit and timing, especially if you take medications. More is not automatically better. Cooking methods send messages too. Pan-searing salmon with olive oil and lemon builds a gentler pattern than breading and deep frying. Baking sweet potatoes and topping them with black beans and salsa turns a comfort food into a balanced plate. For tailgates or barbecues, load half your plate with colorful sides first. Slaw dressed with olive oil and vinegar, grilled vegetables, bean salad, then add the burger or brisket. You'll still enjoy the event, but your liver will receive calmer, steadier instructions. Sleep and stress round out the picture. Short nights and constant pressure can make it harder for your body to handle glucose efficiently, which in turn pushes the liver to hustle. A consistent sleep routine, even if it's just a 15-minute wind-down ritual and a regular lights-out time, supports the same cholesterol logistics you're trying to improve in the kitchen. None of this requires perfection. It rewards a pattern you can keep on your busiest weeks. Here's the quiet reveal that ties this together. Often the biggest roadblock to healthier cholesterol patterns sits in a glass rather than on a knife. When you swap sugar-sweetened beverages for water or unsweetened options, add fiber-protein snacks to stabilize energy, and keep late-night eating modest, your liver's shipping schedule calms down. People frequently notice steadier focus and less afternoon fog within days, not because they cut out joy, but because they change the pacing of inputs. As always, keep safety and personalization in front. If you live with diabetes, prediabetes, or other metabolic conditions, coordinate adjustments with a qualified professional and monitor how you feel. If a change doesn't sit well, digestive discomfort, dizziness, or unusual fatigue, pause and seek guidance. Your goal is steady, sustainable improvement, not extreme swings. The next tip is one of the most important, and ignoring it won't just limit your results. It could bring unintended side effects if you miss on quantities or preparation, so take it in with care and apply it thoughtfully. We've just seen how sugar, timing, and cooking methods can quietly push the liver into a sprint or let it keep a steady jog. Now comes the part that turns scattered tips into a living routine, something you can do on your busiest week without chasing trends. No detoxes, no extremes, just a repeatable cadence that teaches your liver the same calm message day after day. I like to build routines around anchors, small actions tied to moments that already happen. When the coffee maker starts, pour a glass of water and actually drink it before the first sip of coffee. Hydration seems trivial until you remember that soluble fibers work best when they can bloom into a gentle gel. When you step into the kitchen, set out tomorrow's fiber as a visual cue: a jar of old-fashioned oats, a tin of barley flakes, or a small bag of ground flaxseed. That tiny ritual tells your future self, "We're doing this again." Next, create a grocery default you can shop for with your eyes half closed. A North American-friendly list might look like this: rolled or steel-cut oats, plain yogurt or kefir, eggs, black beans and lentils, canned tomatoes, frozen spinach and mixed vegetables, apples, berries, fresh or frozen, lemons, olive oil, walnuts or pecans, whole grain bread, canned salmon or tuna packed in water. When in doubt, this list covers breakfasts, quick lunches, and weeknight dinners without leaning on ultra-processed shortcuts. If labels are confusing, scan for the two lines that matter most: added sugars and the type of oil. Keep added sugars low most days and favor oils like olive or avocado over blends with partially hydrogenated anything. Movement is another anchor, and it doesn't require a gym membership. A 10 to 20-minute walk after meals helps muscles pull circulating fuel out of the bloodstream so the liver doesn't have to. In suburban neighborhoods, loop the block. At an office park, walk the perimeter. At home, climb stairs for 5 short bursts. Stack steps onto existing habits. Take the long way to the mailbox, park at the far end of the lot, carry groceries in 2 trips. These patterns won't show up as dramatic headlines, but they change what the liver is asked to do at exactly the right times. Batch cooking is your friend when evenings are hectic. On Sunday or Monday, simmer a pot of lentils with onion, garlic, and bay leaf. Roast a sheet pan of vegetables. Bake a tray of chicken thighs with olive oil, paprika, and pepper. Now you've built modular dinners: lentils under salmon, chicken with roasted vegetables, and a side of beans. A quick soup by blending roasted vegetables with broth and a spoon of olive oil. Keep portions balanced and cook with methods that avoid heavy breading and deep frying. The liver reads those cues clearly. Snacks should be strategic, not random. Pair fiber with protein so your internal dispatcher sees a steady signal. Apple slices with peanut butter, carrots and hummus, Greek yogurt with berries and a teaspoon of ground flaxseed, a small handful of walnuts with a piece of fruit. Build an emergency kit for the car or desk: a refillable bottle, unsalted nuts, whole grain crackers, and a can of white beans you can drain and toss with olive oil and lemon if meetings run long. This is how you avoid the vending machine spiral without feeling deprived. Eating out is part of life, so let's plan for it. At a diner, choose eggs with sautéed spinach and whole grain toast. Add fruit instead of hash browns. At a burger spot, Order a single patty, add lettuce and tomato, skip the second bun if you like, and trade half the fries for a side salad with olive oil and vinegar. At a Mexican grill, ask for beans, fajita vegetables, salsa, and a modest portion of rice. Add guacamole for gentle fats. With pizza, start with a big salad and keep late-night slices smaller. A short walk afterward is a powerful habit. Now a word about pacing and safety, so this stays comfortable. Increase fiber gradually and drink water alongside it. Too much too soon can mean gas or cramping. If you live with celiac disease or gluten sensitivity, choose certified gluten-free oats and lean on beans, fruit, chia, and flax. If you take medications, ask a clinician about timing so fiber doesn't interfere with absorption. None of this replaces medical care, it complements it. The goal is not perfection, but predictability, giving the liver the same calm, sensible instructions repeatedly. Here's a quiet reveal that people often miss. Routines don't just reduce risk, they free up mental space. When your default breakfast and lunch already speak the liver's language, you can enjoy a weekend barbecue or a slice of birthday cake without spiraling, because the next morning you'll return to the anchors. Consistency does the heavy lifting. Tiny upgrades do the rest. You'll likely feel steadier energy, clearer focus, and fewer "I need something sweet right now" moments, not because you're stricter, but because the traffic is flowing better. We're building to a practical centerpiece, a morning ritual that teaches your liver how to ship and recycle cholesterol for the next 12 hours. It's simple, kitchen level, and adjustable to your taste, with both sweet and savory versions. When you pair it with the hydration you're already practicing and the movement you're sprinkling through the day, the effect compounds without extremes. Keep following along with calm attention and an experimental mindset. As always, personalize as needed and pay attention to signals from your body. If something feels off, digestive discomfort that doesn't settle, unusual fatigue, or medication concerns, pause and get professional guidance before changing more variables. The next tip is one of the most important, and ignoring it won't just limit your results. It could bring unintended side effects if you miss on quantities or preparation, so take it seriously in an informed, measured way. You've set the stage with anchors: water before coffee, fiber-rich choices, calm fats, brief walks after meals. Now it's time to deliver the centerpiece, an approachable morning ritual that quietly instructs your liver to package and recycle cholesterol more efficiently for the day ahead. I'll guide you through a few variations so you can pick the one that fits your taste and schedule, and I'll keep the details clear and safe so you can apply them with confidence. After that, I'll share the simple kitchen bonus I promised at the very beginning, a timing tweak that leverages your pantry to support bile recycling without extremes. Here's the principle in plain language. The first substantial meal acts like a briefing for your liver. When that meal combines soluble fiber, moderate protein, and gentle fats, with enough water to help the fiber form a gel, you set a pace that's steady rather than spiky. You're not trying to outsmart biology, you're cooperating with it. Option 1, a classic bowl that travels well between busy mornings and calm weekends. In a small pot, combine 1 2-cup rolled oats with 1 cup water and a pinch of salt. Simmer until creamy. Stir in 1 tablespoon freshly ground flaxseed or 2 teaspoons chia and let it stand for a minute so it thickens. Top with 1 2-cup berries or a diced apple and a dusting of cinnamon. For staying power, add 1 3 to 1 2-cup plain yogurt on the side or a hard-boiled egg. Drink a glass of water with this meal. That detail matters. The fiber plus water pairing creates the gentle gel that can bind a portion of bile and nudge your liver to make more using cholesterol. Option 2, a savory bowl for those who prefer eggs to fruit. Warm 3/4 cup cooked barley or steel-cut oats, leftovers from dinner work well, with a splash of water. In a skillet, sauté a handful of spinach in a teaspoon of olive oil. Crack in 1 egg and cook to your liking. Slide the egg and greens over the grain, add a squeeze of lemon, and finish with a drizzle of olive oil and black pepper. If you want extra fiber, sprinkle on a teaspoon of ground flaxseed just before serving so the heat doesn't dull its aroma. This bowl reads like a friendly memo to your dispatcher organ. Steady energy, gentle fats, and soluble fiber in a form your body can use. Option 3, When time is tight and you need a jar, you can grab. In a container the night before, mix 1 to 2 cup rolled oats with 1 tablespoon ground flaxseed or 2 teaspoons chia, 1 per 2 cup milk or unsweetened plant milk, and 1 per 2 cup plain yogurt. Stir, cover, and refrigerate. In the morning, add diced pear or a spoon of thawed frozen berries. If you like a hint of sweetness, try vanilla extract and cinnamon instead of syrups. Shake, add a splash of water if it's too thick, and go. This keeps the briefing intact even on school-run chaos days. A few safety and personalization notes so you can adapt wisely. If you live with celiac disease or gluten sensitivity, choose certified gluten-free oats or swap in cooked quinoa or buckwheat. If you take medications that require specific timing, give them a clear window apart from concentrated fibers. A clinician can help you plan. Ramp fiber gradually to avoid bloating. If dairy isn't a fit, use lactose-free or choose soy or pea protein yogurts that are unsweetened. If you experience reflux, avoid lying down right after eating and keep portions comfortable. Let's talk about coffee and tea since they're part of many North American mornings. Enjoy them, but watch the extras. Replace sugar-heavy creamers with a splash of milk, oat milk, or half and half if that suits you. Flavor with cinnamon or a drop of vanilla extract rather than syrups. If you like sweetened beverages, taper slowly. Half the syrup for a week, then half again, so your taste buds recalibrate without feeling punished. Pairing your drink with the fiber-protein-fat breakfast slows absorption and keeps signals to the liver manageable. Now, the promised kitchen bonus, an easy timing tweak that uses familiar pantry items. About 10 to 15 minutes before the day's richest meal, mix one of the following in a glass. 1 teaspoon culinary psyllium husk in 8 to 10 ounces of water. Stir and drink promptly, then follow with a few sips of water as it thickens. Or 1 tablespoon freshly ground flaxseed stirred into 8 ounces of water. Drink and follow with a bit more water. This preload can help form a gentle gel in the upper gut, capturing a portion of bile before it's reabsorbed and nudging your liver to draw on circulating cholesterol to make more. Start small, observe comfort, and increase only if your digestion is happy. If you take medications or live with conditions such as diabetes or inflammatory bowel disease, coordinate this step with a clinician to avoid timing conflicts or discomfort. More isn't better. Better is better. Round out the day with the habits you've already built. A glass of water with fiber-rich meals, a short walk after dinner, and cooking methods that favor baking, roasting, grilling, and sautéing over deep frying. Keep desserts intentional rather than automatic. Enjoy them mindfully in a planned window so your liver isn't hit with surprise sugar waves late at night. If social events are part of your week, arrive with a small appetite, not a big hunger, and load your plate with colorful sides before choosing the main. Here's the final reveal, simple but powerful. Your liver listens to patterns, not perfection. When your morning briefing combines soluble fiber, modest protein, and gentle fats, you set a calmer shipping schedule for hours. When you add the pre-meal fiber timing on bigger days, you give your recycling loop a nudge that's culinary, not extreme. Week by week, this steady rhythm can translate into steadier energy, more comfortable digestion, and lab numbers that reflect your effort. None of it requires fear or hype, just the patient confidence that comes from understanding how your body works. I'll close with encouragement and a practical nudge. Share what you've learned with someone who relies on drive-through breakfasts or late-night snacks. A small change in their morning could ripple through the rest of their day. If this guidance has helped you, consider supporting the work with a like, a share, or by subscribing so more people can access clear, responsible health education. Keep listening to your body, personalize with care, and celebrate each small win.